Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. Today we're going to go over the college basketball, NBA, and NHL games from yesterday. Look ahead to tonight's Games Age Sport. We have a college football bowl game to talk about for tonight and go over the two from yesterday. Best bet. But today's show must start with news and notes because a stunning development happened. And I mean stunning. The Giants and Carlos Correa were supposed to hold their press conference yesterday, but they put it on hold due to a medical concern during the Stars physical. So, therefore, the deal fell through. Then, at 2:30 in the morning, John Heyman tweets out, while we're all sleeping, that Carlos Correa has agreed to a 12-year, $315 million contract with the New York Mets. An absolute stunner of a signing, in my opinion. There were some rumors out there that they were looking at the shortstops, but maybe they would play him at second or at third. But here we are, the Mets signing Carlos Correa, after he and the Giants had a difference of opinion on the medical. Holy crap, I think the Mets are now the team to beat in the National League. They have the best rotation, arguably in all of baseball. They needed one more big bat, I felt, to be the team to beat in that division, maybe even the National League, depending on who it is. But it's Carlos Correa. So it's Carlos Correa, Francisco Lindor, and Peter Alonso leading your lineup. That is money. And then you have your role players like Jeff McNeil, and then you have Francisco Alvarez coming up. So I think this is a better fit for Correa than San Francisco. I think he would thrive in New York. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him, though. This obviously makes up for losing Javier Baez after they went out and traded for him and then just lost him as a free agent because they gave up a lot to get Baez when they traded for him. But Correa's a better player than Baez at this point. So, just a wonderful signing by the New York Mets, as they've had, I think, the best offseason of any team in baseball. Them and obviously the Yankees, I think, have had probably the best two off seasons in a weird way. So I think New York as a whole is winning the Major League Baseball off season. And I really honestly think that the hot World Series pick in 2023 is going to be the Subway Series. I really do. But I just think the Mets are better. I think the Yankees need one more bat, and then they match the Mets for me. I think the Yankees need one more bat. But I personally think that the Mets needed like a big name bat. Meanwhile, the Yankees, I just think, need a bat that is an above average type of player, not necessarily a star. Because they have Aaron Judge back. They got Giancarlo Stanton locked up. They have some guys coming back from injury like DJ LeMahieu and then Gleyber Torres they really like. They can upgrade at shortstop or third base. And obviously left field's a spot that they can upgrade. So, we'll see. And then obviously the Yankees are having their press conference in about 4 minutes here on the Yes Network as they are announcing the re-signing of Aaron Judge. Maybe they'll name him captain as well. So let's cross our fingers for that. And then obviously they have to have a Rodon press conference too. I have to wait for that. But absolute stunning news with the Mets signing Carlos Correa. And like I said, I think they're the team to beat in the National League. And also, the Mets are in on Liam Hendricks, who's available in the trade market. I think that would be a wonderful pickup for the Mets. But I do think that could use one more reliever, but they signed David Robertson. That's a great signing for them. and they bring back Edwin Diaz. I don't know if he's worth that contract. I think that's probably the next Aroldis Chapman, if you ask me, in terms of someone that gets highly paid but really doesn't live up to the contract. It's probably Edwin Diaz, but Edwin Diaz is still good. It's not like he fell flat on his face like Aroldis Chapman did over the last 2 years. So more baseball stuff. The Angels signed Brandon Drury 2 years, $17 million. So that's a nice pickup for them. If they're bad, maybe they trade him. The Cubs are in on Trey Mancini. So maybe the Cubs are trying to get better. We talked about Aaron Judge's press conference, which is going to be starting in 2 minutes on the Yes Network. And speaking of the Yankees, they lose Matt Carpenter as the Padres pick him up. 1 year, $12 million guaranteed. Nice signing for San Diego. He could be like a bench guy, DH. Can play in left field. Can play occasional first base for them. So kind of a sneaky loss for the Yankees, but it's a loss that I think that they can make up for. So yeah, the baseball was literally stunning news last night, so I had to start with that. More news and notes. We'll go to football now. Jonathan Taylor done for the season after injuring his ankle. Brutal for the Colts. Nick Sirianni will not rule out Jalen Hurts for Week 16 despite the sprained shoulder. We'll see about that. I don't think he's going to play, if you ask me, but I wouldn't be stunned. Meanwhile, Kenny Pickett is going to be back for the Steelers after missing last week with a concussion. The concussion that could very well cost this team a playoff spot. Because if he plays in that Ravens game, they win. That's no secret. How about this? Patriots lineman Trent Brown appeared to like an Instagram post about New England pursuing Tom Brady or Jimmy G this offseason. Took a big shot at Mac Jones there. The Giants waive Trey Crowder as he started all 17 games last year and the first 8 games this year. That's unfortunate for him. Sad news in the NFL. Franco Harris, best known for the Immaculate Reception, has passed away at the age of 72. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family and the Steelers organization. Sad news this morning. So, the Sunday Ticket is rumored to be in advanced talks with YouTube for exclusive rights to the Sunday Ticket over Amazon and other suitors. So that's something to watch. Blake Corum, 50-50 on the NFL draft as he's focused on his knee injury and will decide what's best for him in the coming weeks. So that's something to keep an eye out on. UNC quarterback Drake May received $5 million as he received 2 other offers to transfer, and May currently not in the transfer portal. And speaking of transfers, Wisconsin quarterback Graham Mertz plans to commit to Florida after starting for 3 years in Wisconsin. I think he stinks, Graham Mertz. I remember I had one big game, everybody got all excited, and he's just been mediocre. It's kind of like, but then again, the case for him to potentially do better is if, the quarterback, Adrian Martinez, formerly of Nebraska, went to Kansas State and kind of did better, and then he got hurt. The other big news from yesterday is that the Phoenix Suns are to be sold to billionaire Matt Ishbia as he's finalizing a deal to buy the Suns. And it's in the neighborhood of $4 billion. So this is not a surprise. The Rangers' Bill Simmons was all over this. He was the one that mentioned this person as a potential suitor. So this comes to no surprise. And more importantly, Robert Sarver is going to be out of the NBA. And now we'll see what they do with the team and any possible moves they make. And do they keep the front office set in stone, which they probably will because they're doing good. So Zach LaVine and the Bulls, there's been some drama. They're not seeing eye to eye, and there's been multiple team meetings on this issue, and then multiple players directed frustration at LaVine during an exchange at halftime of their loss to the Timberwolves the other day, which is wild. And live golfers can play in the Masters as the Augusta National will allow players who meet previous qualification standards to play in the tournament. So that is good news for golf. Okay, now move on to college basketball. We will recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to a super busy slate for today. I just did projected sides, not totals. Jacksonville over Yale Monroe, 66-55. Longwood beats SC State, 104-77. Western Carolina beats Toccoa Falls, 117-50. Toledo beats Vermont, 84-72. Albany beats Northern Illinois, 83-78. Wofford beats A&M, 67-62. Tennessee State beats Brescia, 98-83. Oklahoma State beats A&M Corpus Christi, 81-58. North Alabama beats Ole Miss, 66-65. IUPUI beats A&M Commerce, 62-52. Drake upsets number 15 Mississippi State, 58-52. Cornell beats Lehigh, 96-64. Sam Houston beats Arlington State, 107-26. Wagner beats Delaware State, 58-51. Lipscomb beats Louisville, 75-67. Number 2 UConn for Georgetown, 84-73. Wake upsets number 14 Duke, 81-70. Eastern Washington beats Northwest Indian, 130-54. Number 9 Alabama beats Jackson State, 84-64. Number 18 Indiana beats Elon, 96-72. Providence beats number 24 Marquette, 103-98 in double overtime. NC Central beats the Citadel, 81-74. Tennessee Tech beats Kentucky Christian, 104-72. Maryland Eastern beats Temple, 86-78. Kennesaw State beats SC Upstate, 65-56. Purdue Fort Wayne beats Southern Indiana, 83-59. Dayton beats Alcorn State, 88-46. Army beats Central Connecticut, 66-55. UMass beats Dartmouth, 68-57. Little Rock beats Central Arkansas, 75-66. Nebraska beats Queens, 75-65. Number 12 Baylor beats Northwestern State, 58-48. Grand Canyon beats Idaho State, 68-66. Pacific beats Lamar, 74-65. Air Force beats Northern Colorado, 67-65. Number 5 Arizona beats Montana State, 85-64. Number 22 Miami beats number 6 Virginia, 66-64. Xavier beats Seton Hall, 73-70. Number 11 Gonzaga beats Montana, 85-75. New Mexico beats Prairie View, 94-63. BYU beats Lindenwood, 91-61. Or 90-61. Pitt beats Syracuse, 84-82. Northwestern beats UIC, 92-54. Oklahoma beats Florida, 62-53. Fresno beats Bakersfield, 56-48. San Jose State beats Cal Poly, 65-43. San Diego beats UC Riverside, 92-84 in overtime. Harvard beats UC Irvine, 62-57. Utah Valley beats Oregon, 77-72. And San Diego State beats UC San Diego, 62-46. All right, a big slate today, 11 a.m. We have James Madison, Coppin State. My projection is JMU by 16. And it is 15.5 totals, 166.5. That's a high total. Give me the under. But you can skip the following games. 12 o'clock, Alice Lade, Morehead State. Toccoa Falls, Georgia State. Mecker Liberty. 1 o'clock, Siena Heights, Western Michigan. Jarvis Christian, Louisiana Tech. Stonehill, Valparaiso. My line's Valparaiso by 11.5. And it's 7.5. I'll leave the points. Northeastern, Davidson. My line is Davidson 16.5. And it's 8.5. I'll lay it. North Dakota State and St. Thomas. My line is St. Thomas by 6. And it's 5.5 totals. 145.5. I'll take the over. Jacksonville State and South Alabama at 2 o'clock. My line's Jacksonville State by a quarter. And it is South Alabama by 8.5. Give me Jacksonville State getting the points. They're plus 290 to win outright. St. Ambrose Drake and Randolph College and William and Mary. We can skip both of those. UNC Wilmington Campbell. My line's Wilmington by 6.5, and it is 2.5. I'll lay the points. Mount St. Mary and Howard. My line's Howard by 5. It's 2.5. I'll lay the points. Lafayette LaSalle. My line's LaSalle by 20.75, and it is 7.5. I'll lay the points. Winthrop Duquesne. Lions Duquesne by 12.75. And it's 9.5. I'll leave the points. Houston Christian Texas Tech. My line is Tech by 29. And it's 32.5. I'll take Houston Christian getting points. Radford and Kansas State at 2:30. My line is State by 22. And it is 15.5. I'll leave the points. University of Sciences and Texas State. At 3 o'clock, we can skip. Chattanooga, Georgia. My line is Georgia by 6.5, and it's 4.5. I'll lay the points. Eastern Illinois and Iowa at 3:30. Mine's Iowa by 27.75, and it's 31.5. I'll lay the. Or no, I'm sorry. I'll take the points. I'll give you Eastern Illinois getting 31.5. We can skip Williams Baptist in North Alabama. That's a 4 o'clock game. BU UMass. My line's UMass by 9.5, and it is 6.5. I'll lay the points. George Mason, Old Dominion. My line is George Mason 11.25, and it's Old Dominion by 2.5. Give me George Mason getting the 2.5 and plus 125 to win. 5 o'clock on the Pac-12 network. UC Davis at number 13 UCLA. Mine's UCLA by 24, and it's 23.5. Total's 145.5. I'll take the over. Norfolk State, Nevada. My line's Nevada by 7.75, and it is 10.5. I'll take Norfolk. 6 o'clock, Austin Peay at number 8, Tennessee. My line's Tennessee by 24.75, and it's 26.5. Total's 124.5. I'll take the over. That's low. Canton, Buffalo. We can skip. High Point, East Carolina. My number's ECU by 4.25, and it is 4.5. Total's 150.5. I like the under. I think that's an under game. UC Santa Barbara and App State. My line is Santa Barbara by 2. Is this at a neutral? Yes. So I have to change my line to Santa Barbara by 5. It is at the Footprint Center in Phoenix. So that's my apologies. So Santa Barbara by 5 is my projection, and it is 4.5. Total's 131.5. I'll take the over. 6:30 on the ACC network. Number 21, Virginia at Boston College. My line's Virginia Tech by 9.25. And it's 9.5. Total's 132.5. I'll take the over. Fox Sports 1, St. John's, Villanova. Is this at the Sixers Arena? No, it's at the Pavilion. My line's Villanova by 1.75. And it's 4.5. Give me St. John's getting the 4.5. I know Villanova's better with Whitworth back, but I think that's a close game. Big Ten Network, Oakland and Michigan State. Mine's Michigan State by 26.5, and it's 20.5. I'll lay the points. 7 o'clock on the SEC Network, Florida A&M at number 19, Kentucky. Mine's Kentucky by 31.75. And it is 38.5. I'll take Florida A&M getting the points. Howard P. and Abilene Christian, we can skip. Youngstown State and Central Michigan. My line is Central by 0.5. And it's Youngstown by 7.5. That's wild. And it is at Central Michigan's home court. So give me Central Michigan plus the 7.5 and plus 255 to win. St. Fran, PA and Robert Morris. My line's Robert Morris by 3. And we got 8.5. Give me St. Fran, PA getting the points. Ohio, Delaware. My line is Delaware by 8 3/4, and it is. Let's see here. 2.5. So I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Delaware. Binghamton and Niagara. My line is Niagara by 2.5, and it is 7.5. I'll take Binghamton getting the points. Murray State and Middle Tennessee. My line is Middle by 12. And it is 6.5. I'll lay the points. Northern Kentucky and FAU. My line is FA by 14 3/4. And it is 13.5. And the total is 129.5. I'll take the over. Detroit and Cincinnati. My line is Cincinnati by 23 3/4, and it is 13.5. I'll lay the points. Mercer, Troy. My line's Troy by 0.5, and it is let's see here. 5.5. Give me Mercer getting the 5.5. I don't know if they'll win, but I think that they cover. Incarnate Word FIU. My line is FIU by 12.5, and it is 13.5. Totals 143.5. I'll take the over. Georgia Southern, Ball State. My line is Ball State by 12 1/4. And it is 8.5. I'll lay the points. Mount St. Joseph's, Cleveland State, we can skip. Stetson and UCF. My line's UCF by 16 1/4, and it's 15.5. Totals 126.5. I'll take the over. Navy, VCU. My line is VCU by 18 3/4, and it is 9.5. I'll lay the points. St. Bonaventure, Northern Iowa. My line is St. Bonaventure by 5 1/4, and it is. Let's see here. Bonaventure, Northern Iowa. I can't find that one. Let's see here. There's no line for this, so that's very interesting. That's so weird. Is there a line on? No. So weird. Next, we have Bucknell and Richmond. My line is Richmond by 18 1/4, and we got 11.5. I'll lay the points. New Hampshire Brown. We got here Brown by 3 1/4 is my projection, and it's 7.5. I'll give you New Hampshire getting the points. Canisius and Gulf Coast. My line's Gulf Coast by a whopping 19 1/4. And we have on FanDuel here, is that game not posted either? Oh, here it is, 11.5. I'll lay it. Southern Utah and Colorado in the Pac-12 Network. Mine's Colorado by 21 1/4, and it is 11.5. I'll lay it. Texas Arlington and Cal. My line for this game is Cal by 12.5, and it is Cal by 4.5. I'll lay it. Let's see if they finally win a game. Michigan and North Carolina. On ESPN from Spectrum Center in Charlotte, my line's North Carolina by 1.5. And it's 5.5, giving Michigan getting the points on a neutral. It is a de facto Carolina home game because it's in Charlotte, but it's still a neutral. Southern Illinois and Southeast Missouri State at 7:30. My line is Southern Illinois by 5.25, and it is 7.5. I'm going to take Southeast Missouri State getting the points. Next up, Samford and Belmont. My line is Samford as a 3.5 point underdog, and it is Belmont. I have Samford as a 3.5 point favorite. My mistake. And Belmont's favorite by 5.5. Give me Samford getting the 5.5 and plus 195 to win the game outright. Kent State and New Mexico State, the Sun Bowl Invitational. Is this on a neutral too? Yes, it's at the Don Haskins Center. So I have to change this projection a little bit. So it is Kent State. I project by 6, and it's 3.5. I'll lay the points with Kent State. Next up, Clemson, Georgia Tech on ESPN2. My line is Clemson by 3.5. And it is 2.5. Total is 138.5. I'll take the over. 8 o'clock, we have McNeese at number 3, Houston. My line is Houston by 33.25. And it is 35.5. Giving McNeese getting the points. Louisiana at number 7, Texas on the Longhorn Network. My line is Texas by 11.25. Then 17.5. I'll take Louisiana getting the points. Houston, Tilliston, and Tarleton, we can skip. Southern and Southeast Louisiana. And it's Southeast Louisiana. I project by 3. And it is Southern by 1.5. Give me Southeastern Louisiana plus the 1.5 and plus 104 to win. Alabama State at Memphis. My line is Memphis by 35.25 and it's 30.5. I'll leave the points. Mississippi Valley State at Tulane. My line is Tulane by 32.5 and it's 28.5. I'll lay the points. SIU Edwardsville and St. Louis. My line is St. Louis by 20.75 and it is 15.5. I'll lay the points. East Tennessee State and LSU. My line is LSU by 19.25. And it is 15.5. I'll lay the points. Bellarmine and Evansville. My line is Bellarmine by 6. And it is 3.5. I'll lay the points. Notre Dame, Florida State. 8:30 on the ACC Network. My line is Notre Dame by 1.75, and it is 2.5. Total's 141.5. I'll take the over. St. Mary's and Wyoming in the Jerry Colangelo Classic. Is that a neutral too? Yes, at the Footprint Center. So I have to make a projection change here. My projection is St. Mary's by 5.25. And it's 8.5. I will still take Wyoming getting the points. Big Ten Network, Maine at Ohio State. Mine's Ohio State by 22.25. And it's 23.5. Total's 140.5. I'll take the over. New Orleans at number 1 Purdue on ESPNU. My line is Purdue by 29.75. And it's 34.5. I'll take New Orleans getting the points. UNC Asheville at number 10 Arkansas on the SEC Network. My line is Arkansas by 20.75. And it's 23.5. I'll take the points. Number 20 TCU against Utah on the Pac-12 Network. That game's at Vivint Arena, is that where Utah plays? No, that's the Jazz Arena. So that is another neutral. So my line is TCU by 5. And it is Utah favored by a half. Give me TCU getting a half. So it's essentially a pick of -104 on the money line. Also on the Pac-12 Network, number 23, Auburn at Washington. That's at Washington's home arena. My line's Auburn by a half. And it's 3.5. Give me Washington getting the points. Sacramento State and Cal State Fullerton. My line is Sac State by a quarter. And it's Fullerton by 2.5. Give me Sac State plus 2.5 and plus 126 to win. NCAT at UTEP. So this is a UTEP home game. My line's UTEP by 13.25, and it is 8.5. I'll lay the points. 10 o'clock on the CBS Sports Network. You have number 25 Arizona State against San Francisco. My line is Zona State by 3.25, and it is 2.5. Totals 141.5. I'll take the over gladly. Denver, Oregon State on the Pac-12 Network. My line is Oregon State by 11.5, and it is 7.5. I'll lay it. 3 more to go. Tulsa, Loyola, Marymount. My line is Marymount by 5, and it's 9.5. Give me Tulsa getting the points. Idaho and Long Beach State. My line is Long Beach State by 8.75, and it's 11.5. Give me Idaho plus the points. And Colorado State, USC. 11 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network. From the Footprint Center. My projection's at C by 6.5. And it is 2.5. I'll gladly lay the points with USC. All right, now I'll move on to the NBA. That took a little long because we had a lot of college to do. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games. Jazz over the Pistons, 126-111. Bulls over the Heat, 113-103. Knicks over the Warriors, 132-94. Wizards over the Suns, 113-110. And the Nuggets over the Grizzlies, 105-91. All right, 7 o'clock. You have the Bucks and the Cavs. Line is the Bucks by a quarter, total 218 and 3/5. And we got 2 and 217.5. Taking the Bucks plus the 2 and plus 108 to win. Pistons, Sixers, Sixers by 14 and 3/4, total 224 and 3/10, and it's 11.5 and 223.5. I'm going to lay the points with Philly. Bulls, Hawks at 7:30. Minus the Hawks by 7 and 3/4, total 228 and 4/5, and then it's 6 and 236 under. Pacers, Celtics. My line is the Celtics by 16.25, total 230 and 3/10, and it's 10 and 233. I'm laying it with Boston. NBA TV, Warriors, Nets. My line is Brooklyn by a whopping 19.5, total 229 and a 10th, and it is 12.5 and 224. So I'm going to lay it with Brooklyn. Raptors, Knicks. My line is Knicks by 5, total 224.25, and it's 2 and 218. Over, but I do like the Knicks too, but I like the over more. It's weird that it's only 2. 8 o'clock, Magic Rockets. Mine's the Rockets by 4.5, total 223 and 4/5, and it is Orlando by 1.5, total 223. Now give me the Rockets plus the 1.5 and plus 102 to win. Mavs, T-Wolves. My line is a pick'em in 226 and a 5th, and it is Dallas by 3, total 230. Under. Blazers, Thunder. My line is the Blazers by 4 and 3/4, total 228 and 13/20, and it is 4 and 235. Under. 10 o'clock, Lakers, Kings. My line is the Kings by 12. Total 232 and 7/10. At 6 and 240.5. That's high total. That's an under lock. I mean, no Davis, come on. And 10:30 NBA TV, the Hornets and the Clippers from Crypto.com. Clippers by 17.5, total 221 and 9/20, and it's 8 and 225.5. I'm going to lay the 8 with the Clippers. All right, the NHL. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's games. Canes over the Devils 4-1, Flyers over the Jackets 5-3, Pens over the Rangers 3-2, Leafs over the Lightning 4-1, Jets over the Sens 5-1, Kraken over the Blues 5-2, Kings over the Ducks 4-1, and the Flames over the Sharks 7-3. We have 7 games tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Lightning against the Red Wings. The Lightning are minus 166. The Red Wings are plus 138. Over under 6.5, minus 110 each way. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 148. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 184. I like that's a tough one, over. TNT Devils Panthers, an interesting game. All of a sudden, Panthers minus 142, Devils plus 118, over under 6.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 215, Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 172. It's where the jersey's an underdog. I'm going to take him plus 118. 8 o'clock, Habs, Avs minus 285, Habs plus 230, over under 6, overs even money, unders minus 122. Habs plus 1.5 is minus 112, Avs minus 1.5 is minus 108. I'm taking the Habs plus the 1.5 and minus 112. 8:30, Preds, Blackhawks. Preds 192, Blackhawks plus 158, over under 6, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Preds minus 1.5 is plus 138, Blackhawks plus 1.5 is minus 170. That's a tough one. I'm going to go with the Predators in regulation's a little juicy. So, first period result, Nashville plus 138. 9:30 TNT, Oilers, Stars. Stars minus 154, Oilers plus 128, over under 6.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Oilers plus 1.5 is minus 192, Stars minus 1.5 is plus 154. I'm going to take the Edmonton Oilers at plus 128 to win. 10 o'clock, Wild, Ducks. Wild minus 285, Ducks plus 230, over under 6.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Wild minus 1.5 is minus 118, Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 104. I'm going with the Ducks plus 1.5 at minus 104. And last but not least, the Coyotes and the Golden Knights. Vegas minus 10, Coyotes plus 245, over under 6, overs minus 106, unders minus 115. Coyotes plus 1.5 is minus 105, Vegas minus 1.5 is minus 115. I'm going with the over. All right, college bowls. We have a couple to go over from yesterday, and we'll look ahead to the lone bowl game for tonight. Eastern Michigan over San Jose State, 41-27. Eastern Michigan finishes 9-4. San Jose State finishes 7-5. And Toledo over Liberty, 21-19. Toledo 9-5. Liberty 8-5. So 2-0 in the bowl picks yesterday. 9 o'clock on ESPN tonight. We have the New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky, South Alabama from Caesars Superdome. My projection is South Alabama by 7.5, total 55 and 3/10. And it is 3.5 and 57.5. I'm going to lay the 3.5 with South Alabama. I think they are the better team. They've had a phenomenal year. This is one of the best seasons in school history. And they weren't even in their conference title game. The Sun Belt was actually really good this season. South Alabama was a big part of it. So I'm going to lay the 3.5 with South Alabama against Western Kentucky. Alrighty. So before I go to best bet, something I alluded to earlier in the show, that the Yankees were having a press conference to reintroduce Aaron Judge. It just came down right now that he has been indeed named the 16th captain in franchise history. This is the absolute right move and Derek Jeter was in the building for it. This was something that I was expecting, something that really should be the case. He's the best player on the team. He's the best player in baseball. And he absolutely deserves to be named the captain of the very best franchise in all sports. The most successful franchise as well. And so, I feel bad for Judge a little bit because of obviously the Mets go out and sign Correa trying to steal the headline. So, I kind of think Steve Cohen did that on purpose, low-key, to take a dig at the Yankees. But I know him and Hal Steinbrenner are buddy-buddy, but at the same time, I think he wanted to kind of be the headline stealer and sign Correa. But he is indeed named the captain of the Yankees, and it's something that is very, very deserving. And I'm sure his teammates are happy. I'm sure the Yankee fan base is happy. I really adore Aaron Judge. He's my favorite player in baseball, and I can't express how much deserving he is of this honor. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There's a lot of college basketball games I really liked, but there was one that jumped out at me right off the bat, and it was a pretty big underdog that I think could arguably be favored. And it's funny because I took South Alabama in my pick for the college bowl game today, but for college basketball, I will be going against them. So I'm going to take Jacksonville State getting the 8.5 against South Alabama. I'm going to lay a half unit on it. That's how good I feel. Jacksonville State plus 8.5 against South Alabama as my best bet of the day. That's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. We'll head to everything tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.